Hello guys. How are you? Well, in my world it's good morning. Um I wanted to do a flip of my junk journal. I mean, not my junk journal, my scrapbook. And I feel like I need to give you guys this kind of scenario because this thing is big and it doesn't fit in my camera rig. Like you'll be able to see only like about maybe this much sort of. And I just kind of wanted you guys to see the monstrosity that this thing is huge. Is look at my hand for a 12 by 12 is about to right here, so you guys could understand the size of my journal. I still would like to do maybe the year or maybe the last name here. I want to work on maybe making mold for Roman numerals so that I can make them here. But I need to find the perfect font that I want to carve and sculpt. But yep, this is it. Or maybe even right here. It needs something else on the spine, although the spine is pretty interesting itself. I think it might need a label or maybe some like little golden details or something. Also, it's not light. It is about, I don't know. It's like maybe 5 pounds, maybe a little more. A sack of potatoes. But yeah, so let's do a flip of it. Okay, so here it is, but you see I still have like this much down here if I do most of the top. So let me see if I can take this off. Would it be better? Okay, so let's get to this flip. I hope this works good. Okay, so let's do this. So this year, instead of a cover picture, I decided to do like a word that I believe we went by. So 2024 was a year to believe. So in like my layout, because it doesn't fit a 12 by 12, I have to be creative in the way I use my 12 by 12s, right? So in this case, you can see the 12 by 12 here. And then I added like little pieces on both sides. And it completes that area. Sometimes I'll put a little bit of extra like here to kind of, fill in the gap a little bit of here and here. And I'll do like little strips of matching paper or, contrasting paper. And it fills it in and then I leave a gap so that it looks like a border. Sometimes I don't leave a gap, but for most of the time, I feel like it looks good to leave a gap. In this case, I used the balloon that my son gave my daughter for Valentine's Day. He took her out on a little mini date because she's been wanting to do that with him. So they went on a date, camping here. I used a 12 by 12 here, but I cut out some of the clouds and brought it out per se so that it doesn't look like it's just a half here and half here, of the 12 by 12. So I cut out a little bit and brought it out. Same thing here. I cut out little pieces. See, there's a little piece right here if you look closely. And I believe it's somewhere over here. And it kind of fills in the whole gap here. Excuse me, I still have my cough. Here, I did the same thing, the 12 by 12. Sometimes I use just a little strip with paint on the background, like in this case, and make it more of artistic. Some of these layouts are feeling like very scrapbooky, sometimes very artistically. You'll see the difference in some. I feel very formal, very like it also depends on the mood. I don't know if you've noticed, but when like people are scrapbooking, when I'm scrapbooking, I don't want to talk about everybody else, but when I'm scrapbooking, I tend to scrapbook my style in the way I'm feeling that day, or the way the pictures make me feel. I don't go based on like if I was a graphic designer, I let what I'm feeling that day and go with that. And that's what I'm doing. Like I'll do layouts on one kid, like this is one kid. And sometimes I make both pages match even though it's not the same subject. And sometimes I don't. Like in this one, these are my pets, pigs, pigs and chickens, dogs, and the chickens. These are big now. They're like really big. You've seen them in some of my videos. They'll come inside the house sometimes. Skate night. I love using my kids' art on the scrapbook. I look forward. I raid their backpack, especially the little one now. I raid her backpack looking for her art, especially. Like she made this shirt and I took a picture of her sewing and I put a little piece of her like so. It's very journal-y too as well. I feel in a lot of ways. Like this one was very playful, like if she was a teenager, but she's not, but you know, sort of like that. Same here. These are my boys. These are my twins. Well, they're my grandbabies, but see, like this is my daughter's artwork and her artwork here. These are all her diplomas. This year she won quite a few contests and diplomas. She won pie. She won Battle of the Books. She ran for vice president. She got student of the month. I mean, she did all kinds of stuff. She read a lot. I mean, she's quite an achiever. Then this is my 13-year-old boy. I did the AI of him being an astronaut. I put that here. Him turning 13. These are my boys. See, like in this case, I like to cut out the paper more than use it as a background. I like to use it more of a pop-out point sometimes, you know. I did it here too. You see that? Here I used different papers and I still left a little bit of white and I let the white come across. That's why sometimes I feel like using craft paper for my scrapbook was very fun because it allowed me to play with it, you know. It made it more, whatever I put in the front of it made it stand out more. I don't know. I really liked it. And this one is very serious. Like, oh my gosh, I'm a serious person and like, I'm very adult. These are my boys. So I was thinking I'm going to change into this. So that's why I have this, because this is my inspiration. So I'm thinking of taking it off and doing this because I cannot live with this like this. It's too serious. But this one also shows how I grabbed a piece, a 12 by 12, and then a little border on both sides. You see that? So that it makes it longer, but at the same time, I left a little border, you see, all the way around, so it looks like it's meant to be. I mean, it is meant, but in this case too, you see the 12 by 12 here, right here to here. You see it? And then I added to the ends. This is when me and my son went to San Francisco. I talked about it in one of the videos. This is just, I love the day, but I was feeling very blah about how I put it when I did the layout. So it's I feel it's very blah, but we'll see. 4th of July, I threw a block party, invited all the neighbors, and I rented one of these, and oh man, it was such a blast. My boys turned 1, and then my daughter is pregnant again, and she found out it was a girl. Oh my dog, these two had puppies, so now these are the puppies that you guys have heard, and you hear me talk about in the video sometimes. Here they are. So I'm trying now. They're in that age where I can like let go of them, and I'm little by little starting to do that, and such a hard process. It pains me so much. My son got a chicken harness. He walks around these chicken. I mean, this is a chicken that comes inside this gray one. These are all the 4 of them. Anyways. Sometimes, see, they're very chaotic, like this one. I don't know. She contributed to her layout, so she like put stickers and stuff, and I like that. I like that she contributes to her layout more. This is when we brought goats to her, so she can play with goats. Another, yeah, and I like to do this a lot. Paint the background instead of using paper, and it helps me a lot more on my layout. I feel like it fills it in really nice, but I still leave that border. I don't know if you could see. I still leave that border around. My other grandbaby being born. I know. I'm on my 6th one, so you'll see them a lot. See, I fill it out with, this is the pink one here, and it goes to here. Then I filled it in with this paper that was part of this, so it kind of like helped each other, contrasted and matched at the same time. Movie theaters. My boys. See here, I did the same thing. I did a 12 by 12. Then I added a little bit of trim on both sides. And here, I used a half. I like using the half because then I can use that other half in another layout or another paper. And then that little trim that's left over on this, from this 12 by 12, I used it over here. Oh, look how it looks. And then I finished that off with the same little trim from both sides. Brings it all together. Not same day, but I decided to match them together because they're boys anyway. This is them at the beach. San Diego has very, very beautiful beaches. This is my daughter. Her name is Candy. She's turning 21, so I bought this special paper for her and her turning 21. Here I cut the paper in half. I did the 12 by 12, but then I helped it by doing a trim on both sides here. And here you see that. So it helps it. I did this sideways. The little piece that ends on this side, there's a little bit like, I don't know, like 3 inches. So I cut it in half with the little wavy line, and I added it on this side. So it brings the whole thing together at the same time that it helps it fill it in. And then the little gap, little piece that was the little end piece that's left over from this, I used it here, but I cut into it, into this one, and then I expanded it so that it finished on this side. You see that? And then I also finished it with the little wiggly thing. So this is Halloween. Now, I have had this paper for years now, and it's one sheet. But the trick to it is 2 things. One, when I put a picture and I put the background, I use it as a background, I'll cut out what the picture covers. And I'll leave a little trim so that it has something to grab on. But the whole inside, since it's being covered by a picture, I just cut it out. And I'll have little pieces, like in this case, I have one piece here, here, here. But then when you put this is the last year I used the paper, by the way, as you can tell. I used half of it on one year, half of it in the other year, and then this year I played with the inserts on the back of the pictures. And I like how I just brought it in together with the rest of the colors as backgrounds, and it looks good. I like it. It was very playful. I love that my daughter helps me a lot with putting the stickers and stuff, because it's for them eventually, and they love participating, and I just heard all of them do. So here, okay, so let's start. Oh, you know, this is why I made this thing, so that when I have the little book rest that I made, it doesn't like break my spine and messes it up. But in this case, we're good. But so you can see it better. I don't know if you maybe turn on this light. Is this better? I feel like this light gives you glare. That's why I don't turn it on sometimes. But the sun is giving you guys glare. Anyways, this is about the layout. So in this case, I used a 12 by 12, but I cut out the flowers and use it as to bring out the paper. It would, if you think about it, it would be the same thing. I'd put the 12 by 12 and then I put my pictures on top. But instead of it being like blocky, I just cut it out so that it looks more 3D. And this year, I did something interesting that I meant to do it on here too. I've been grabbing my pencils or my black water water paint. And I feel like I've been doing like shadowies. Like on this here, I don't know if you can pick it up, but on all the numbers have shadows. And some of the stuff that I did around here also has shadows. And I kind of liked it. I really enjoyed doing that. Let me see, where else did I put shadow? I don't remember, but I put shadows here and there on some of the things, and I feel like it will make it more popping out, more poppy. So I like that. And then on this one, I just did a little block. And I don't know if you see the little block here, the little block here. And it still keeps me some paper for the future. But these are like little pieces that I have left out. Left from another. I don't know if you can tell, but this paper and this paper is similar, not the same. But I take opportunity that they match, and I kind of put them in the same layout this way, and it works out really good. On this one, there's 0 paper. But there's 1,000,001 pictures of my boys. Sequoia, we went to Sequoia. California is a proud home of the sequoias. And I use what is it called? These postcards as little flippy floppies. I use the map. So the map goes from here. I glued it here, but then I left it unglued. Then I folded onto it so it becomes another page. Here, and you're still able to see that it's sequoia, the trees and stuff like that. And then I'm able to use it because I wanted to store more pictures, obviously from our stay, and I felt this was a perfect way to do that. And I still use some of that paper here. You see, I used some of that wood pattern here, and then I finished it off with a little bit of trim, so it looks like more. Now back here, I keep like diplomas and stuff like that. These are items for next year. So I'm looking forward to that for next year. So as I had mentioned before, I want to have a closure on this book. At first I thought about something like this. I don't know what it is. I think it's from a door. But like putting it like this, one right here, like this, and then having the like a hinge here with clasp, right? But what kind of clasps, you may ask? Let me put that there. So one I made a while ago is this one. Well, okay, it's not a clasp, but it's a beginning of one. So this little doohickey from here to here, I attach it to the spine, but this is not where the intention of it. This is like a little clasp that like you would have it hooked on one place and then hook it onto another place, and it would like close it in, right? And this closure, or not closure, but like, gathering, would it be? Like a system where like it holds something, but then it also compresses it down. And I pictured maybe like 3 or 4 having it like attached to, like, for example, a hinge and like a little piece of strap of leather where you can like hook it onto the other side, and it will like compress and keep it closed at the same time. But that one was inspired by this closure. I bought this box for $1 with the intention of maybe repurposing this to use it somewhere else, but my husband's like, please do not break that box apart. So I've had the box with no purpose, but I mean, if I sit here and I feel like I want to put a purpose, I could like use it as a purse or whatever. But I love these details so much, and it's a great decoration piece. But anyways, you can see it has like the springs, although these springs are not attached the way I made that thing. They're attached a little different. They're attached like spring end to end, sort of like this, end to end, right, to something. But I wanted to make it more interesting, and that's why I made this one. But this was my spring week. You can imagine it holds this one together, like this one's locked by the thing, so it holds it together very tightly, which I love. This is little tabs from the sodas, but it holds it together very good, and I love it. But because it's an oiler book, I always feel like springs need a quick make a sound, and it's like they need oil. I don't know. Don't mind me, but one thing led to another, and that's why I started from there to that, and now it leads me to this. I've been studying a lot of closing and clasp mechanism for big books or ancient looking books, and I made these, right? There's a full video on how I made these. Let me see if I can move this out a little bit so you guys can see better. Okay. But I feel like the clasps I've been not researching. Hold on. Let me go back a little bit. Okay, so I wanted to continue with the thought. I have a million thoughts in my head, and this is what I go through every time I'm processing something. So just bear with me. Yes, I am a little ADHD right now, and it's showing. But okay. I don't want to pause the video because I don't want to lose my train of thought. Okay, so based on that, I could have, let's forget that one for this one. I could have done that spring mechanism with the hooks. So the hook is the part that hooks onto the other pieces, right? So like this kind of, I call it the hook mechanism because it hooks onto something, and it like activates the spring, right? So I wanted to do that on a 4 mini one like this, so that it could look more, not majestic, but more elaborate, and then put it on here, and then attach the bottom to a maybe a leather strap, or maybe the hinge that I was talking about with the leather strap onto here, right? But I feel like it's not matching anything I think about, because I didn't plan a class before. It's not matching really what I'm going to do with this. So I will tell you how I'm going to do this one in a little bit. Let's work with the spring. Let me finish talking to you about the spring. So in the spring, I can do it that way, or I can do it the way that the other ones are, where I can just do like a spring to spring action, and then just attach the end of the springs, right? Like this, like with this one, right? I bought a little box of springs. I like buying boxes of stuff because I've used springs before, especially like on interactive journals. I feel they're the best, but I've been thinking of working on clasps or closures for books for a very, very long time. So that's why I also bought these springs. But I didn't plan to close this one. I wasn't thinking about it. When I feel like it needs it from the beginning, then I'm planning to the making of it. But I didn't, for some reason, use it on that one. But I had thought about a closing system when I made this. Well, for example, I made this book, right, with the intention of using this inside here as a clasp like this. It's not a clasp, but it's like a closure thing that I just have a piece of, I think this is it's not leather, it's like a tie back that doesn't break. So I attached one of these like Tim Holtz, I want to call them nipples, but they're like simple, right? It's straight to the point. But the books I've been looking into have this on the edge right here, and then they'll have like a clasp mechanism onto here, which I love that idea. And so the whole reason why I started making this like is it protection or clasp area was for that same reason, because I'm evolving in that, right? Evolving, you know what I mean. So I made this one. This is brass. So I made this one with the intention of one day drilling a hole on the side and using these. I don't know what they are called, and I don't know if it's the same thing that Tim Holtz was trying to create with those. But they're kind of the same thing. See, like this is the one that Tim Holtz makes. And then this is the ones I have purchased. So they're the same thing, concept. But I don't know if these were used for that same purpose, right? But I've been collecting them because I've been thinking about clasps for a long time. So this one, that's a long one, I want to drill in here. And then because I make these out of wood, I want to drill into the wood and then epoxy it on there. And then we'll have this, right? Sort of like this. And it looks good. And it looks like the rest of them, right? So when I do this one, I do want to do a whole maybe like big bulky clasp with these kinds maybe. Or like in this case, like in this one, they enclosed the spring. I don't know if you can see that. In leather. It's wasted off or rubbed off, but it's enclosed so you can't see the springs. You like, I guess the original idea was not to see it, just to like have it close to here. When I first got it, it was springing more and it was closing like this. And you bring it down and you unhook it, right? Kind of like that. But in this case, I see many like that are like big and bulky, and I love that. And that's why I made these like big ones here and here and here. These I will eventually use in a scrapbook or in a journal. Well, most likely a scrapbook because journals are smaller and like it would really overtake the whole journal. These are made out of soda can aluminum. Like I literally took a Rockstar can and made these things, and there's a whole video on it. I will link it up here. But these are made out of brass, and they would look cool here, I guess, but then it doesn't fit. So my idea is to use them eventually on a scrapbook, right? This year's scrapbook, I already have what I want and the idea, so I don't think I'm going to use them. But when I use these, I do want to make a clasp with the springs and this whole thing, right? But because we talked about clasp or closure for this book, I want to make one. I'm going to put my springs away before they bounce away. I bought this items, as you can tell, in a estate sale. And this is what I'm going to do. And I like going to estate sales on Sundays because they're 50% off. So I love that. Okay, so let's use this stuff. I like to repurpose the bag, maybe. Okay, these are, I don't know if you remember, but I made a book from these like very thick leather that I got on a estate sale from a guy that made horse saddles, and I got these from that guy too. Anyways, these are like belt buckles, and I really like them. They're like the real deal, you know. So I think I'm gonna use this instead. I'm gonna make a belt right here, and I'm gonna put this on the bottom and on top, and I'm gonna use these tiny little screws that I found in one of those stores that sell like bulky, like per bulk. Look at it. Look at this. I love these because it barely grabs onto my covers. I bought it a long time ago. I'm talking about years ago. And it doesn't go through to the other side, but it grabs really good. Look at these ones. See? It'll grab good. I like these. So I'm going to attach those to the front and to the back. I have a few different sizes. I think I want to use those two. I wonder if any of you would be interested in some of these. Like, if you're a patron of mine, let me know. Like, if you want me to send you some of these, I will send you some of those. Anyway, so let's attach these to the front and the back of the inside of the covers. I drive a pilot hole through the wood. I noticed that these, I could have done this, but it's really well glued in, and I don't want to mess with the structure of here because I don't want to break it or pull it or make it look nasty. So I'm just gonna do this. Like I said, I wish I would have planned it better. I switched to the thicker ones, the bigger ones, because I felt like the other one was not going to be long enough for this. So plus the head was too small, and I felt like it was going to go all the way through. Let me grab a screwdriver. There's a, if you're in a stencil, please don't write on stuff. I mean, I can remove that with alcohol, but come on. Just kidding. Let's do the back one now. Well guys, thank you so much for being with me today in today's video. I really appreciate you guys coming along with my journey. I love our new closure. It's simple, yet I feel like it fits this book okay. I went with black because the fabric in the inside has black writing, and I felt it matched better that way. So it was cleaner. I feel like maybe if I would have planned for a clasp, it would have came out nice, because I did started to plan for it. That way I left this entrance, but I didn't fully plan for it. Well, thank you guys so much, and I hope that you continue to join me this month for the month of, I made up this Scrap-nuary because I felt I wanted to start the year with my scrapbook, because I always do, sort of, because I make my scrapbook for the year, you know. At the same time, I've noticed that like everybody's doing junk journal January, which I think it makes sense because it's like JJJ, but I already had all these in mind and planned, and so I'm gonna stick with it because that's what I had planned. So join me next week. I will be doing the new scrapbook for this year 2025. I'm so excited. I'm hoping this year is better for us, for you, for me. I'm really hoping and praying I get this job at Disneyland this year, and so we'll see where that goes, and I'm really excited. I love you guys so much. Share with me what you guys would like to accomplish for 2025, and we'll keep each other's goals in mind, and in our prayers. I love you guys so much. Till next time, stay safe. Bye.